Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. What do you know here? We're taking a look at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. 67,300. Feel like we left off at this level yesterday and the prices kind of jumped around a little bit, but we are seeing a bit of a digression here. Essentially just seeing, this channel is starting to break down a little bit. While it's not perfect or, never truly is, we can kind of see there's potential or greater potential for the price action to break down. Triangles are not 100%, of course. They have a lower success rate, but there is a good chance we see a continuation of lower just based on that sentiment there. Again, this is based on a smaller hourly time frame. I'll clean up the charts, post a playout chart here on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord if you're not familiar. It looks a little something like this. This is our analysis from yesterday, just kind of expecting the price to be range bound, which it has been so far. We did see a wick all the way down to 66,600, so that is awesome in a way because we have a short position open, got really close to our take profit target, and a majority of this liquidation here probably still exists, so we'll take a look at that here in a minute. I'm curious about the delta too. Our delta was starting to shift bearish. I'm curious what that looks like, so let's go ahead and dive in and kind of see what's going on. And if you could, please just hit the like button. Comment below if you get a chance. Deeply appreciate it. Really helps grow the channel. We're starting to get maybe close to like between 80 to 100 likes per video, which is awesome, but that's only like about 10 to 20% of the overall viewers. So if we can all just do our part, hit that like button, really appreciate it. Thank you again so much. Either way, thanks for the awesome feedback too. People have been giving me some really good praise, specifically with calling SUI yesterday to drop, which again, hey, it happens. Everything has to pull back eventually, right, folks? So let's take a look here. This on the left-hand side, we got the last 7 days of trading, or more so 7 days of liquidation, and on the right is the last 30 days. So this hasn't changed too much from yesterday because we just took a glance at it. We can see that generally speaking, 66,000 still has a lot of liquidation, but we did see that 66.5 mark hit. So we got a little bit of liquidation there, but a simple way to understand is we got still a decent chunk below the price action that's starting to grow too. Because if we look at the last 30 days here, while there's still a decent amount up here, as per usual, we'll mention about 20 to 25 billion in liquidation, upwards about 70K. The likelihood of that's happening is getting lower, right, as we spend more time in this lower range. Furthermore, too, though, we can see this area here is starting to increase. So if we kind of add this up, between 66.5 and 66K, we got what? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, somewhere in the range of 20 to 25 billion. And then just below 66K, down as low as 65.5, it's hard to say sometimes, we got roughly about the same amount of liquidation. So we're talking somewhere between 40 to 50 billion if the price comes all the way down to 65.5. It's not too far away. So just kind of throwing it out there. While we have a good amount of support at 66,000, I think that level should hold. Our macro fib level is this 64,500. Okay, so I still think there's a possibility we see something along those lines, and then that's when we get our recovery. So I'm really interested in a long at the macro point of control and, of course, the macro support range based on fib levels here at about 64.5 to 65.3. That's the sweet spot for me. So anyways, that's what I'm considering. Again, I'm not just going to take a long in the blind because of that, but that is generally what I'm leaning towards if we get in that area. Now, if we take a look here, this has shifted a lot. So if we take a look, keep in mind when we were here yesterday, we had a lot more shorts in the market. Taken shorts at that point. So this is a 5-day look back, right? And this is liquidation for the last 5 days. This is from yesterday. The reason why I'm pointing this out is because we had a larger amount of shorts in the market than we do right now. Now, what does that mean for us? Well, it's the opposite of what you'd assume is correct. In other words, we got a larger chunk. Hold on, let me refresh this here. This is actually, that was Solana's chart. There we go. Okay, good. This makes me feel better. All right, so we have about the same, if not slightly more, shorts in the market. And again, what this basically just means is when you have too many shorts for too long, or the opposite of as well, you have a tendency of the price action going the opposite direction. So with too many people shorting, we have a decent chance we could see the price continue higher just based on that sentiment. Okay, so again, I know it seems kind of weird that we got a lot of shorts in the market and the price could go up, but the truth is that that's generally a normal thing in trading. However, the reason why that's less consistent right now is because we haven't really been in this range for too long, though. I mean, it's been maybe about a 24-hour period since we've actually had the price action in this range. So the simple way to understand it is that the amount of shorts that we have, it's congruent with the price action and right where we're supposed to be. So I'm not concerned by seeing that, even though that could be a false positive. It just tells us that more people are considering shorts versus longs, again, at this point, or they're in shorts versus longs. So that leads me to believe that we could go down lower just based on the simple sense that it's not like a massive amount. When it gets really big in either direction, that's when you want to see that reversal, okay? Or you consider seeing the reversal, rather. Okay, so here's what we're going to look at here. The daily time frame, we're going to recognize a couple of things. Our SMAs are still below the price action. Once again, I have this trend line running fairly concurrent with a 20-day SMA. The reason why I like to draw that out is just give us perspective on where we're at in the macro, because even though the price is due to correct itself, I feel still to that 66, 65K range, we'd still be bullish in the overall sense if that happens. So please try not to misinterpret. Again, coins can move up and down in a bullish trend. It's very, very common, and the inverse as well in a bearish trend. So at this point, until we break free from the 20-day SMA on the daily, I think we're still in pretty good shape. We have no reason to be massively concerned with the price pulling back, significant. All right, so again, just kind of just throwing it out there. Once again, we rejected off 70 on the RSI recently, pulling back here, a natural correction. This is very standard. Stochastic RSI swinging back. There's really nothing here that's like stark and, like amazing. Okay, this is the daily time frame is kind of neutral, if you will, in a lot of ways. It's still bullish in one way, but the oscillators, basically the momentous indicators, are letting us know that we've lost that momentum to the upside. We're tentatively topped out, and we're having our natural correction / consolidation phase, which is good. We actually need that. If we don't have this, then the price action will be more likely to rip down a lot harder. Having said that, though, the 4-hour time frame, we did lose a 20 in the 50-day SMA in the last few hours. That is generally unfavorable. Okay. Usually when I see the price go under the 20, that's when I usually get concerned, which is exactly why we took our short position yesterday with Bitcoin. Now that we're under the 50, that kind of reinforces and reaffirms the fact that we've lost this trend. Okay, at least the midterm trend. Having said that, though, we are under 50 on the RSI still. That was a consistency from yesterday. While money flow index is remaining above the RSI, that still doesn't give me a lot of hope, considering we're below a lot of resistances right now. Same thing here as well with MACD kind of plateauing, trend strength index coming down. There's a lot of reasons why we're more likely to go down than up. And once more, as I mentioned yesterday, best case scenario, the price comes up to 68,000 rejects, which it basically did. Okay. So that's this is par for the course, because once again, Bitcoin's working well within these ranges. 68K was proven to be a pretty consistent resistance. Didn't work so well as a support, but it's certainly working as a resistance again. Okay, you could even argue that this is somewhat of a head and shoulders pattern. Again, it depends on how you draw it out, right? But truth is, we're in the midst of something along those lines, all right? Again, I don't think it's going to be monumental drop. I don't think we're going to see low 60K range at this point. We'd have to lose 64.5 first. But I would say 64.5 to 66,000. I'm going to stay consistent with that estimation. Those are probably two likely areas of retracement. So taking a look here at the hourly, quickly to note, Ichimoku Cloud, we're still below the cloud. And I was talking about this with my community earlier, just spitballing, of course, before I look at the charts. And I was mentioning that 68,000, a close above that, would be a confirming factor for Bitcoin or other altcoins. For example, like Solana, people were asking me about double top on Solana, which it is forming a double top. It still hasn't fully come to fruition because we're still respecting our ascending trend. So while you have a bearish type of pattern in a bullish type of scenario, that really kind of invalidates it, right? The whole point of this is that 67,200, whatever, any closure below 68K would indicate that resistance at 68K is consistent, and we'd still be below the cloud as well, too. So there's a lot of reasons why this here is a point of contention. So I feel personally that closing above 68K would be a good sign for Bitcoin to potentially continue higher, but I still absolutely leaning more towards the price action pulling back. I mean, it should not have hit 69,000 in this most recent run. Like a week ago, we were literally in the low 60s. So it needs time to kind of relax and take to chill, right? So there's that. We also want to recognize too, I forgot to mention this earlier, TD sequential based on the daily time frame. We did hit this overextension, of course. I talked about this yesterday, but just to reiterate, we literally could see another 4, 5, 6, 7 days of trading to the downside or sideways. Again, it's not a guarantee. It doesn't always hit its overextensions, but we hit a 9 TD sequential, got a little greedy for a couple of days on the weekend, which was unnecessary, by the way, and the price action is pulling back now. This is very standard, very normal, but just know with a pullback on an uptrend like this, it's common for the price action to retrace to its midway point, which is this 0.5 fib level, about 64,300. In this example, keep in mind this is a micro fib. In other words, this is just the last week and a half's worth of uptrend, or just say 2 weeks, versus this here, we got our macro fib levels here. This is based on the overall situation here since we've been in this range, right? Ever since we've been topped out at 74K and bottomed out roughly at 50K. Ever since we've been in that range since March, 0.618 is that golden pocket. That's that area of support I'm consistently respecting, or just wanting to say more so that there's consistency in that number, and there's a good chance that we'll see that be like kind of the tentative bottom. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at there. But I do feel personally, in the short term here, Bitcoin's still going to pull back. We're going to hit our take profit targets in the low 66K range, because complete disclosure, we have a short position open with Bitcoin at about 67.4. So things are looking good here. Anyways, that's kind of where we're at there. I'll post our playout chart here shortly. I'll clean up the charts, of course, as per usual. And I want to say thank you so much for watching. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time. Bye-bye.